Hey, welcome back to the Disturbing Illusion channel. I am Brian. Have you noticed the acceleration of this trend in social media circles where it centers around former Democrats defecting over to Trump's side and former Republicans who are defecting over to Kamala's side? And when people do that, they automatically get this massive, sympathetic, and supportive audience, which equals a lot of moolah if they decided to become routine content creators. Now, this is one of those liberals right here. This is Elon Musk, of course, jumping like a little kid, which is hilarious and cringeworthy. But this is one of those liberals right here who says that she basically had a come to Jesus moment, became a Trump supporter, and the video was shared by none other than Elon Musk. And check this out. It's got 31.5 million views. It was originally shared by Insurrection Barbie. Insurrection Barbie has 324.4 thousand views. And we're going to take a look at this, but I want you to see if you can detect any depth of thinking, any depth of meaning, or is it just another shallow pitch to get people to demoralize themselves into voting for a uniparty psychopath? Let's take a listen.
I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. In fact, I'd rather know the truth, even if it means that I'm wrong. And so with that, I'll say I was completely wrong about Trump. The media played me. They played me really good. See, I was a Bernie Sanders fan. I had the t-shirts and everything because I saw that he actually cared about the people, a real politician who actually cared.
Bernie Sanders cares about the people, and she's speaking in present tense. She's saying that he's really a politician who actually cares. Bernie Sanders, who wants to meddle with the free market. He's a Keynesian senator, Bernie Sanders, who's for John Maynard Keynes. Hey, just print them. Let's print ourselves out of this horrible situation and embroil unborn Americans in transgenerational debt slavery. That Bernie Sanders?
I was going to vote for him until something weird happened. They just kept bulldozing him. And then when March 2020 happened, I thought they were trying to bulldoze him again. And I had no idea why Trump wanted to be president in the first place. But I watched a lot of TV at the time, and the news said he played too much golf, he was a racist, and I watched a lot of SNL, and they made fun of him and his sons. So I just thought he was not fit for the job. And I hate to admit, the more that I watched the TV, the more angrier I got at Trump, and without any really good reason. But I had turned off the TV around 2019.
So her picture of Trump was painted by listening to and believing fake stream CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird MK Ultra Media, which is not a good diet to have, not a good mental diet if you want to maintain sanity and stability. And before I go on, I just want to read to you what Insurrection Barbie says. I urge everybody to watch this person explain to you how she finally figured out that the media has lied to her all along and how she went from being a Bernie Sanders supporter to supporting Donald Trump. More importantly, please share this with somebody you know who is a liberal, because this will sway them. This will sway him to our side and to looking at Donald Trump through lenses of truth, not the lies painted by fake stream media. And by the way, it is fake stream media. I don't care if you're talking about CBS, ABC, CNN, Faux News, Newsmax. They're all out to lunch because it's partisan politics. They rely on bias, which is not true journalism. And when you don't have true journalism, you have people who are promoting agendas and narratives that solidify you in an echo chamber. So let's proceed with this.
But I had turned off the TV around 2019. And when March 2020 happened, I needed answers because something was off. I needed to know who was on our side and who wasn't. So I was searching all over online for answers as to what was going on and who was the good guys. So I watched Trump live on the White House news briefings on my laptop since I didn't have TV. Every Monday he went live. And I was carefully observing him. He was straightforward, like a businessman, staying hopeful and optimistic and working with what we had at the time. And I saw the other side completely spin everything into fear and chaos and projections months out into the future.
And the left does indeed do that. They spin things, they fabricate, they weave these massive tales against whoever they're talking about. And they are the enemies of the people. I agree with Trump on that. But Trump also spins things. Faux news also spins things. The Kamala Harris campaign, that's what politics is. They're there to lie to you, to schmooze, to get more money out of the tax cattle. They're not there to tell you the truth. They're there to make you believe they're telling the truth when in fact neither party is.
I knew that he wasn't trying to push fear. And I could see clearly that he definitely wasn't a bad person.
I could see by Trump's own words that he wasn't a bad person. I believe Donald Trump. I believe Kamala Harris. Saying you believe Donald Trump is about as stupid as saying you believe Joe Biden or George H.W. Bush. 1,000 points of light. Leave no child left behind. Read my lips. No new taxes. Hey, George H.W. Bush said it. It must be true. That's childish thinking.
He was a leader. He was positive. He was forward moving. He was problem solving. While the other side was focused on the problem and how to suppress me as a citizen, stifle my life, it felt like they were taking away my freedom. Then I watched the news completely spin what he said into something he totally didn't even say.
By the way, she is reading a script here. You can see how many edits. There's like, she speaks for 5, maybe 10 seconds, and then there's an edit. So she's reading a script.
That was a wake-up call.
Another
But around
edit.
March 2020, I talked to a friend, and he said that Trump was in there for a reason. And he started to let me know what was really going on. And suddenly, everything started to make sense. And I realized why Trump was president in the first place. At that point, all I cared about was good people who were protecting my country and my freedom, whether it was Bernie or it was Trump. I was just glad that somebody was on my side.
So she still thinks Bernie is protecting your freedom. Bernie Sanders is protecting your freedom. And she believes Trump is protecting your freedom. And you're going to listen to her. And she's going to go viral, 324,000 views and 31.5 million views. This, it's no measure of good mental health to be considered well adjusted to a profoundly mentally sick society.
I'll say I had the TV off for about a year when I woke up to Trump being a good guy. A lot of people in your ear, a lot of media, a lot of here.
By the way, good guys don't criminalize tens of millions of Americans with stupid bump stock bans. Good guys don't initiate extreme risk protection orders, also known as red flag gun confiscation laws, on Americans, on innocent Americans. Good guys don't deflate or devalue the dollar and cause massive inflations with a $6.2 trillion stimulus bailout for the banksters and big pharma. Good guys don't do that.
Say can really screw up your logical thinking process. It did mine. And I was doing a lot of positive thinking and meditating, so I was able to stay calm even in that difficult situation. I was able to stay hopeful and optimistic because I knew there were good guys. I knew there was somebody fighting for us. I'm sorry to say that.
She's talking about Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. They're both good guys. This is who's got 31.5 million views.
This election, I can't vote for a woman, although I really want a woman in the White House. But for me, this isn't about a man versus a woman. This is about who's going to protect our country, our freedom, and the freedom of future generations. Trump is a person who should lead this country. He's made several statements saying, I'm returning power to you, and the best is yet to come. He also said, I can't tell everybody what's really going on. When it comes down to a leader of our country, we can't look at outer appearances. We have to look at their character. Trump is a businessman who worked his way up to the top.
That's it. Look at Trump's character. Never mind his words. What are his actions? Bump stock ban, red flag law, devaluation of the dollar, giving money and resources and military aid to Ukraine, beefing up the military industrial complex far beyond what Obama did, far beyond what Bush did before him. The military industrial complex. promoting civil asset forfeiture, saying that he's going to put a federalized blanket of qualified immunity over all law enforcement officers, including the evil ones. And that's just scratching the surface. Putting swamp creatures in at the Treasury Department like Steve Mnuchin. Considering the BlackRock CEO Larry Fink for his new administration as the Treasury Secretary. Selling out to the Rothschilds International Banking Cartel back in the 1990s when he went bankrupt with Taj Mahal, and accepting a grant and a loan from Wilbur Ross, who then became 25 years later the appointed Commerce Secretary, the Trump appointed Commerce Secretary. Yeah, don't believe what they say. Gauge them by their actions. Find out what their character really is. I'm going to drain the swamp. Really? With Steve Mnuchin? With Mike Pompeo? With John Bolton? These war hawks? You've got to be kidding me. There's no depth here. She wants you to stay in the shallow. She doesn't want you to look beneath the surface. And neither does Elon Musk. And neither does this insurrection Barbie. These are all people who are betraying the American people, trying to get you to believe the propaganda and the lie on their side. As they rightly condemn, the leftist media propaganda on the other side.
Top. He didn't drug deal. He didn't people traffic. He's never even drank alcohol his entire life.
How do we know that? Because he said so? How do you know any of that?
But everybody calls him a racist. I can't recall any words that he's ever said that were racist. And then the whole grab him by the pee. If you watch that clip, there's a lot more that's going on. In fact, there's been quite a lot more that's been going on that we don't really understand.
Yeah, watch the whole clip of grab him by the pee. Donald Trump is engaging in locker room talk. Okay, whatever. But that's who he is. She just got done saying, hey, we need to judge somebody by their character. That's his character right there. And it's not just that. He's not just perverted. He's not just somebody who would abuse his position and his power to do that kind of thing, which you and I would never do, hopefully, right? Judge their character. Devaluation of the dollar, by the way, is a really big thing. And a lot of people are like, man, I'm sick of you talking about that. Think about what this means. Anybody who engages in creating policies that devalue the product of your time and laboring energies is your frickin' enemy. They're basically saying, hey, your labor is worthless. Your time is worthless. Oh my God, there's a WWE dog and pony show. CNN doesn't like Trump. CNN is trying to blast Trump. CNN is lying about Trump. Of course they are. But Trump is also lying. Come on, think.
Put your fear aside. Put your judgments. Put your anger aside. And think clearly.
Don't put your judgment aside. There's even a scripture verse. I can't remember where it is. It's somewhere in 1 John. I think it's 1 John 4:1. Do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are godly. Don't believe every spirit. You have a mandate. And besides that, that's just a principle in life. Don't just believe everybody. What do you want to be, gullible? You want to go along and go, oh, I believe Trump. He never drank. He's not a racist. He believes in America. He loves the Second Amendment. He loves the First Amendment. Then why is he trying to extinguish criticism of Israel on college campuses all around the United States if he loves the First Amendment so much? Why the bump stock bans? Why the red flag laws? Why the, I don't know, Mike, I like take the guns first, due process second if he loves the Second Amendment?
Who's fighting for your country? Who's fighting for your rights and your freedom? This isn't about man versus woman. And this isn't about the person who smiles the most or giggles the most. It's about the person who addresses topics, solves problems, and protects freedom of our country. Take another look at him, because you're missing it. You're missing being alive during the greatest president in world history.
Wow.
During one of the greatest events in world history. There's some new technology coming that's going to change everything. And Trump's going to help make sure that we get to the other side. That we get to a world where we can build and collaborate with less corruption, with less lies and manipulation, with more logic and clear understanding of what's really happening in our world. Finally, the shadows, the lies, the deceit, those days are coming to an end. Please think clearly about who's the deceitful one.
Yeah, please think clearly about who are the deceptive ones and the deceitful ones. Please think clearly.
And who's the one who's on your side. I used to get triggered too. It's okay to say you're wrong. It doesn't matter. What matters is that We pivot when we have new data and a new understanding, that we put away fear and anger and we think logically and critically about our future and who we want leading it. For me, there's only one clear choice, and that's Trump.
It is no measure of good mental health to be considered well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. And even though Insurrection Barbie and Elon Musk want you to think that this is well adjusted, they are absolutely wrong. What are they pushing? What's their propaganda angle? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. We're going to tell it like it is on this channel, whether we get a bunch of subscribers or views or not. We're about to lose everything with the CBDCs coming online, with Enbridge that CNN and ABC and Faux News never want to talk about. No political candidate is talking about, hey, why don't we cut government spending? Why don't we cut a bunch of government departments? Why don't we do something about the Federal Reserve and the IRS and eliminate property taxes and income taxes? And even if they were talking about that, you can't believe them because they are political, parasitic psychopaths. I will see you guys in the next video. If you disagree, let me hear it.